Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
I'm Mickey.
And in studio with us we have Cason. Cason, if somebody needed to contact us, what would they need to do?
For math homework help, call. In Bakersfield, 636-4357. Everywhere else, 1-866-636-6284. Do the math at current.org. We're online at dothemathonline.net. And social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, nicely done. Thanks for doing that. Otherwise, Mickey'd have to do it and we'd be here forever waiting for him to get it all done. Anyway, so Cason, where do you go to school and what grade are you in?
I go to Stockdale Elementary, and I'm in the 5th grade.
How is 5th grade?
Good, I really love it.
You really love it. What do you love about 5th grade?
I like all my friends, and I like learning about all the history and stuff.
Oh, good. So are you doing United States history right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
We're doing missions.
So you're doing missions. All right. So you haven't gotten to Revolutionary War stuff yet?
Oh, we did that in the
You
beginning.
You did that in the beginning. And how did you like that?
It was really cool learning about it. I thought it was a really fun experience in that learning all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, U.S. history is pretty fun. I like the Revolutionary War period also. A lot of stuff to learn back then. So I understand that you are working on fractions right now and multiplying them. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have you quickly explain to Mickey how to multiply fractions with a very basic problem right now to get started, okay? Mm-hmm. All right, head on over to the board. So let's do 2/3 times, let's go 6/8, 6/8. So explain to Mickey how you would like to do that problem, and then Mick, if you have another way to do it or maybe a simplified way of doing it, we'll go over that. All right. Take it away.
Okay, so first I would multiply 2 times 6, and that would equal 12. And then see you have a 10, you can have that one to set that to the side and take off that. And then you could do 3 times 8 would equal 24. And then you could do I think that's how I did it.
Very close. So the one thing I would say is I want to know, why did you take off the 1 in the tens place?
Because it would be a 10 and it would count as 1.
So almost. So technically in fractions, if I have the fraction, let's say 3/3, right? If I had a chocolate bar and I split it into 3 pieces and I said, okay, you get 3 out of the 3 pieces. Is this a whole chocolate bar? Mm-hmm. Right. But in this case, is 12, if you have 12 out of 24 pieces, is that all of something or only part of it?
Part of it.
Only part of it. So in this case, we can't get rid of this 1. It's actually very important to us. So go ahead and rewrite that 1 back in for me. And then same over here on your original problem. All right, now this would be technically our official answer, 12/24. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Now one thing I want you to think of is, have you heard of simplifying?
Yes.
Can you simplify 12/24 or 12/24?
Yes.
What can they both be divided by? What goes into both?
You could divide them by 3. So 12 divided by 3 would equal 4, and 24 divided by 3 would be 8.
Very good. Can we simplify any further?
Yes.
What else?
You can do 2.
Okay. So if I do 2, I'm left with 2 over 4. Now, can 2 over 4 be simplified any further now?
Yeah.
By 2 again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we divide by 2, and that leaves us with
1 half.
1/2, right? 1/2 doesn't really sound right. So
Yeah.
we'll go with 1/2.
Yeah.
Now that is interesting because what you've really shown me is that 1 out of 2, if I have a chocolate bar and I split it in half and I take one of those pieces, I have half of it, right? If I were to split it into 24 pieces and fill in 12 of them, it would look the exact same, just with a lot more small pieces. So that means 1/2 and 12/24 are equivalent fractions. They represent the same amount. In this case, the chocolate bar is only in 2 pieces. In this one, it's in 24.
And we'll do a little something where we're going to get into where he wants to get a whole number out of something.
Oh, okay.
And we'll do a little bit about that later on, all right?
think
Nice
that's where
first
you're
problem,
going. We'll
though.
get there.
Remember, we do have phone tutors available until
job.
5:30 most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. If you phone in to do the math and we do one of your math problems on air today and for the next couple of weeks afterwards, you will win yourself a pass to Holiday Lights at Com. Have you ever heard of Holiday Lights at Com?
Yeah.
You've been there before?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Did you do the one where you walk through or did you do the drive through?
Both, I believe.
Oh, which one is your favorite? Do you prefer to walk through and take your time or be at the speed and the mercy of traffic?
I like to walk.
Walk through.
So you
All
can
right. Well,
enjoy it.
right now they have the one where you're driving through because they have a walking through, but that's called Autumn Nights. But if anybody calls in today as well as the next few weeks, we do your problem on air. You have a pass for your family to go to Holiday Lights at Com. Right now, let's take a look at today's Math in the News. All right, today's Math in the News, big thing going on in the world. Are you a sports fan?
Yes.
Is there a particular sport you like more than others?
I love baseball.
You love baseball. That's nice to have you on there today. Then. I love baseball myself. Out of all of the different sports, I love baseball myself the same. Do you have a favorite team?
Dodgers.
Dodgers. You're a California boy, so that's all right. But if you had, ding, 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 that's right. So we'll give them a pass on that. I know the California kids grow up liking the Dodgers or the Angels or the Giants or the A's or the Padres, and you got a lot of teams in California. So are there any other sports that you follow or like or play?
I love football, and also I enjoy watching soccer.
Okay. So when you say football and soccer, are those two different things, or is, because you know what I'm talking about,
yeah.
right? When people say football, I guess is how you would say it instead
Yeah.
of football.
Yep.
Which
Two
in
different
a lot of the world is what we call soccer in the United States, correct? So right now going on is the World Cup. You're familiar with this? Have you seen any of it
Yeah,
this year?
I watch it in school.
You watch it in school?
teacher
What is
lets-
going on? Oh, we don't have homework. We watch the World Cup in school. Big days, big days.
We might have watched a little bit of the USA game in my classes.
well,
Every
oh
4
my
years,
gosh,
you got to watch.
everybody
It's like
watch
the
it.
Olympics. You know, you got to make sure
you
your
guys
kids
bring
get exposed
potluck
to it.
in, like meals and stuff like that. Have
I mean,
big
it
old
is a
party going
celebration
on?
of all the countries coming together. That's a
That's
good
right.
idea. Maybe I'll do it for next game U.S. is playing.
Well, they are moving on because I think, was it yesterday they won 1-0?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they won
yeah.
to Iran.
Yeah.
Right, so it was 1-0.
Playing the
Right.
Netherlands
Okay.
Saturday.
So here we go. We have the logo. We have a little snapshot of the World Cup itself. An additional time. So Cason up there, it says 14 with a mark after it. Do you have any idea what that means?
Maybe that means like a representation of maybe for a minute. For 2
Right, it
minutes.
is. That means 14 additional minutes. Now, Mickey, you are the announcer for CSUB soccer.
Correct.
Are there times when they have additional time in soccer?
So in NCAA soccer, no. It's a straight 45-minute first half, 45-minute second half. And actually this year they did away with overtime, which is something we're seeing at the World Cup level also. There is no really quote-unquote overtime if you tie. If you tie, and that's it, and you move on. And we saw that with the U.S. in their first 2 games. They tied, and that was it. They got points for it because it wasn't as bad as losing. But at the college level, there's not additional time. But at the World Cup level, the additional time is added on depending on what's happened during the first half.
And
So if
that's
there were
what we're gonna talk
delays or
about
other
now.
things, and Mike will take us a little more into that.
Right, so we can see why there is additional time, right? It's a new directive to ensure all unnatural lost time is added to the end of each half. So if there's a goal, there's a lot of time taken because they're celebrating, right? So they're saying it's about 1.5 minutes. And if you have 3 goals, you're losing about 6 minutes of playing time. So they're going to add 6 minutes additional time to when the clock would normally run out. Does that make sense?
And that's one thing that's different with college soccer is, you know, in the press box, when someone scores a goal, we stop the clock. And it doesn't start again until kickoff after the game is restarted. So that's the difference between the FIFA and the World Cup, is that clock runs continuously no matter what happens. That's why a lot of times when people first watch a World Cup game or a high-level Major League Soccer game, they're confused. Why is it going overtime? Like, they think it's overtime in 91, 92, 93 minutes. It's because the clock doesn't stop, but they add on the time to ensure both sides get full 90 minutes of play, where if one side is kind of saying, oh, well, we're going to celebrate, or we're going to take a little more time placing the ball on the ground, it's an advantage for them to kind of play out the clock. But when you add on time, it takes away that advantage as well.
So, Cason, do you have any idea what this is right here? What does that look like?
It kind of looks like if you took the soccer ball's outline apart and you just spread it all out.
Right, if you cut it and you flattened it, that's called a net. And when you get into 6th grade and then junior high school, and especially in high school with geometry, you're going to learn more about nets. But I wanted to put that on there for students that are familiar with it. So that is a truncated icosahedron. So
Say it one more time for
today,
it.
right? Okay. So let's take a look right here. So it says the average time of the first 7 games at the World Cup passed the 100-minute mark. Now we know it is supposed to be 90 minutes, right? So we can see Mexico and Poland had 9 extra minutes. Argentina and Saudi Arabia played for 20 extra minutes and 27 extra minutes for England and Iran. So you can see 117 minutes. So 17 minutes of dead time the referees felt was happening, which is why they got that much time. And you can see the average time in the Premier League, which is like the NFL, I guess you would say, is 98 minutes. So there's always time being added, but like Mickey said, in the college level, it's not. And that is today's Math in the News, dealing with time and the World Cup. 636-4357 is the phone number. We do have phone tutors available until 5:30. Don't forget, if you'd like a free pass to Holiday Lights at Com, all you have to do is give us a call. We do your math problem on air, and you're going to Holiday Lights at Com. But something equally as exciting as going to Holiday Lights at Com is learning how to measure correctly. And that's exactly what the Carpenters Union is going to help show us.
Hey, we are ready once again for a little math in the real world, everyone's favorite part of the show. We got to know where this math stuff actually is used in life. And so we're here, well, gosh, it's a pretty loud place, one of the loudest places I've been, and I'm here with our friend Josh to tell us all about it. Josh, man, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Scott, for being down here today.
Tell us where we are and what the heck your role is, because there's a lot of action going on around here today. And in fact, we even got the safety equipment going on, so we're nice and safe here. But what's going on? Where are we?
So my name is Josh Taylor. I'm a representative for the Southwest Carpenters Union, and we are here today in the Bakersfield Carpenters Training Center, where we have several apprentices learning some form of carpentry.
Right.
Today they're learning stairs and ramps on the carpenter side, and on the interior system side they're doing some basic metal stud framing.
Okay, gotcha. And what's your role here at this facility?
So as a representative, I'm there to make sure that there are opportunities for these apprentices and our other members to be able to go to work, hopefully close to home.
Right, yeah. And we know that there is a bit of a boom in construction, so there's probably a lot of work out there, but they have to know how to do the work right, correct?
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about the training that goes on with these people that are learning. They obviously get a lot of hands-on. We can hear that, we can see that, but there's probably some some classroom work as well?
Yeah, so actually we, just like any structure or any building you see out there, like the classroom that these students are in, they have to be built on a solid foundation.
Right.
And that's what this apprenticeship is about, teaching the basics, the fundamentals of safety and production to be able to get out there and help the contractors we work for be profitable and give the community the structures and buildings that it deserves.
Right.
So yes, you see a lot of hands-on opportunities here where these folks are actually taking the tools, wearing their bags, applying what they're learning in the classroom here out on the shop floor.
Right.
Now, as a component, yes, like the students that are watching this show, there is going to be some classroom time where they'll get to see how to read blueprints. They'll do some tests on the lessons that they're learning. So it is a graded course that they do, and they're actually getting college credit through their training. So it's an earn while you learn type of situation.
Yeah, and they take what they learn in the book, right, and they can apply it right away. Not just the next day or the next week, but literally within a couple minutes, they can get out here and do some things that maybe they've been learning about. That's pretty neat.
So you're seeing them during their one of 4 weeks that they will be in this class throughout the year.
All
The
right.
majority of the time, they're out on a construction job site, earning a living while they're getting those on-the-job training hours.
Right,
This is
well, I
just
want to see what they're doing. Let's go take a look at one of the things they're working on today, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
So Scott, I'd like to introduce you to one of our instructors.
How you doing?
Howdy.
Hey, Ross.
This is Ross. and
Ross,
he's
nice to
taking
meet
some
you.
time.
Same here. How you doing?
So you get to teach all these guys what's going on, man. There's a lot of noise.
Yes, it's
And you have some very specific equipment here. What are we looking at here with the project that you're working on?
yes. What we have here, we have some walls that we have to plumb and line. This is part of the basic stairs program that we have this week.
Right.
So basically, what we do is we start off with some walls and then integrate the stairs to it. But we got to make sure that these walls are nice and plumb to get go.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, what we have here is we have a string line here with a plumb bob that's going to be telling us the vertical direction that give us that plumb. So we also have a level, 6-foot level with the water line here on a bubble showing us the center that'll give you plumb also.
That's it, yeah. That's
And
a classic way to keep things level. Makes sense.
And also, we want to get a little high tech, then we get out here with the laser, which gives us a digital readout up to the top.
Okay.
So right now, as it said, it's set plumb. It's ready to roll, but what we're
So
gonna,
right now, it's where it needs to be.
Yes.
But what if it wasn't, right? We want to
Yes.
know. We want to be able to see what that looks like.
If it's out of plumb, then what we'll do, Seth, can you go ahead and crank? We have a turnbuckle down at the bottom, which is right now locking it in position.
Right.
So what this does, this is a formal liner.
Yeah.
It's going to line the walls up. So
Right.
he's going to crank. Go ahead and set it out of plumb. As you can see.
Oh, and the whole wall's shifting, and
It's
so is the
shifting,
bubble,
and
and
you
so
can
is
see
the laser, right?
Yes.
And so is the plumb bob. They're all moving because we're not plumb anymore.
Yes. So now, as you see, it changes the size at the top and at the bottom. So that tells us automatically that this is not going to work.
Right.
We need to get it back in line.
Right.
So by cranking back, we come back to plumb, and that gives us a digital readout on the top.
Yeah.
Now we know that we have the plumb on the bubble,
Right.
and also the line that is projecting equal dimension from the face of the wall.
Yeah, you got to have a lot of different ways to check it.
Yes.
Because once the building's up and done,
Yes.
you can't fix it anymore, right?
Drywallers will come in, they get kind of mad.
That's
So
right.
we need to have everything nice.
They want it to be straight. That's it.
Hey Ross, so we've got 3 different instruments telling us the same thing, but they all have different pros and cons. Like what's something that can go wrong with the plumb bob where you may not want to use that?
Well, the wind factor, if it's really windy outside,
right.
we won't be able to have a correct reading because the wind factor is going to change it.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the level here that's got the bubble, which is a little bit more stiff.
Yeah.
The same thing with the laser. Now, if the battery goes off on that, now we go to the old time with this level right here.
So it's good we have ways to do it, and then we have backups as well.
Exactly.
Well, we got a whole lot more to see here.
Oh,
but
definitely.
I appreciate the time so far. We also know there's some more math problems to do back in the studio, so we'll head back there, and we'll be back here in a bit.
Also, thanks you to Josh Taylor. I know we've worked with those guys for quite a few years, and it is simply amazing all of the things that they do and are able to share with us and share with you if you want to get into carpentry. 636-4357 is the phone number. We have phone tutors available until 5:30. We have Cason, a 5th grade student from Stockdale Elementary, in studio with us, in studio with us. And
This is like a little school lesson in here. You do a little math work.
So have you been at Stockdale all the time that you've been going to school?
Yeah, my whole
Okay,
life.
so you'll be in 6th grade next year. And is there anything that you're looking forward to when you get into 6th grade? Because that'll be your last year there.
I'm pretty sure we'll be learning about like the space and stuff. That would be pretty cool to learn about, and I'd be excited to learn some more history and stuff.
Oh, good. Well, I'm sure you're going to learn a lot more history, probably world history when you get into
So
sixth
when
grade.
we start talking about the ancient history, everything that happened before the United States was even a thought. We go all the way back to when it first started.
But now we're going to concentrate on math.
Okay,
I know
we
you
can
guys
start with
like
the
history,
math.
but back to the board, boys, back to the board. So let's put the problem up that we had before. 2 over 3 over 6 over 8. Times 6
there
over
it is. All right.
Oh, okay.
You're fine, 6 over 8. And instead of multiplying it straight across this time, Mickey's going to go over with you how to simplify it a little bit first so it's not as difficult later on.
So you notice that in our last problem, we had to simplify 3 different times. Each one we had to go do it again, divide by 2, divide by 2. It can add up at the end, right? It can take longer. So there's a strategy called cross-simplifying. And the method is fairly simple. I look across, okay? So I'm going to focus on 2 and 8. Can 2 and 8 both be simplified by a common factor? What can they both be divided by?
It could both be divided by 2.
Sweet. So if I take 2 and divide it by 2, what's left?
1.
Go ahead and fill it in there. Beautiful. And if I do it to this one, I have to do it to its partner. So now 8 divided by 2?
8 divided by, okay,
What will that give us?
give us 4.
Beautiful. All right, now the cool thing is we can do it on the other way if it's possible. In this case, would you say 3 and 6 can both be simplified?
Yes.
By what?
3?
Absolutely correct. If I do 3 divided by 3, what does that leave us with?
1.
Amazing. And our other one, 6 divided by 3?
2.
Awesome. Close enough. All right. Now, can we simplify any further?
No.
Go ahead and multiply straight across, and let's see what happens at the end here.
Okay, so boom.
2 over 4. Now, can 2 over 4 be simplified?
Yes.
By what?
2.
2. Let's go ahead and do that.
Oh wait.
4 divided by 2, huh? Still equals
He
4?
caught himself.
There we go. All right, good. Now, in this case, did we have to do as many steps of simplifying?
No.
Just one at the end. And a lot of times, these happen to work out where it was 2 over 4. I mean, there's nothing we can really do about that at the moment, but it does simplify our simplifying process at the end of the problem. We don't have to go through as many steps or think about larger numbers. This really comes in handy when students have numbers, you know, after they multiply, they could have something like 64 over 132. Those are very large numbers, and they're
Yeah.
both even, so the biggest number I would cautiously try is 2 or maybe a 4. But because they're so large, you could end up doing that 3 or 4 times, and it just takes a lot longer. So if you can always try to cross-simplify before your problem begins, it does decrease the size of the values at the end, simplifying your life a little more.
All right, we're going to simplify things, erase the board. Brand new problem. One of the things that Cason said he was having a little bit of difficulty with, he knew how to do it, but we're going to just do one to help him out a little bit. was
Absolutely.
Unlike denominators. All right, so I've got a good problem for you. 3 over 4
3 over 4.
plus 2 over 7.
Oh, all right. Now there's a golden rule with adding or subtracting fractions. Do you know the golden rule? All right, so let's think of it like this. We're going to give a quick visual, okay? How many pieces of a chocolate bar would I have to split this into if it had a 4?
4.
4 pieces. You know where I'm going. Okay. 4 pieces, right? How many pieces is this chocolate bar split into?
7.
Cool. I have the same size chocolate bar, but this time, can I combine these pieces together?
Yes.
Do they look like they would fit? Or are they
no,
different sizes?
No, they're different sizes.
They're different sizes. And that's the problem we run into with adding fractions with unlike denominators. It really means we have different size pieces. These two will not fit in this space. You notice they're a little bigger. Same with these 3. They're not necessarily half because 3 is not half of 7. So the problem we need to fix is making them common or creating the same size or the same number of pieces for each whole unit. So what we can do is we have to ask ourselves, can I split this 4 into a certain amount that I can also split the 7 into? And that becomes our idea of least common multiple, commonly written as LCM. So we need to find the least common multiple for 4 and 7. Now you know what your multiples are, right? 4, 8, 12, 16. So I want you to list a couple of your 4s, do maybe 3 or 4 of them, and then we'll jump to the 7s.
I like how we didn't write 4 first because it's already listed.
Exactly.
Because a lot of students write 4, but it's like it's already there.
Jump down to the 7s. Let's see what we have.
And Mick, you may want to move that problem or rewrite it down at the bottom so it doesn't run into it.
As far as I'm getting.
Well, just rate 3/4 over plus 2 7s down below.
Let me erase this one.
You keep working on your multiples. Your job, your goal here is to find one that matches on both of these. There you go. All right, let's pause there. Can I increase my 4s at all to maybe something? Because we noticed we stopped at 20. We have a couple potential ones, right? Let's see if we can find a match. Ah, circle it up. Yeah, boom. Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. You're at 24. We don't have 20. What do we notice is our least common multiple, our smallest similar multiple?
28.
28. So here's the cool thing. That means I can split 4 into what eventually?
28.
How do I make this 4 become a 28?
You can multiply it by 7.
Very good. If I multiply this by 7, I'm essentially saying I need 7 times as many pieces, right? But if I already had 3, am I still just going to have 3 little pieces, or do I need to increase those as well?
You're going to need to increase them.
Absolutely. Because I increase by a factor of 7, I do it on the top also. A lot of teachers will say, and it's something because it's just a pattern that we use, I'm guilty of it as well, as we say, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. But the reason being, if I want 7 times as many pieces in total, I need 7 times as many pieces filled in to make them the same. So instead of 3/4, this will change. What's 3 times 7?
21.
Let's go ahead and rewrite that fraction. We're making equivalent fractions to work. Very nice. Now we have to do the same thing for 2 over 7. Is there a way for me to take this 7 and split it into 28 pieces?
Yes.
How many times would I have to do that?
You would, 4?
4 times. And remember, if I need 4 times as many pieces in total, do I need 4 times as many pieces filled in? So how would that change if I multiplied by 4 in the numerator?
Then it would be 8.
All right, so let's rewrite that new fraction. Not new, but equivalent. Nice. Now, remember our golden rule with adding and subtracting fractions? They have to have the same
Numerator. Wait,
not numerator.
Denominator.
Yes. Do they now have the same denominator?
Yes.
Because they have that, we are now allowed to add. Go for it. Take it away.
And
Excellent
it went
job.
over.
We have 1 over, don't we? Do you know what this type of fraction is called?
A mixed number?
Almost.
A
Starts
whole number?
Not yet. It starts with an I.
Improper?
Improper, yes. And it's improper because in fractions represent pieces or parts of something. The problem is, if I have 29 pieces, but I only need 28 to make something, I have too many, don't I? So do you know a strategy to turn this into a mixed number?
I believe so.
Give it a shot. Let's see.
Okay, so so you have 28 and 29. So you'll take one of those 2's and that will create a 2. But then you need to subtract that and you have 1 and then you can leave it with that, I think. Or you can simplify it.
Very close. The only thing is we don't keep the 2. So I want you to think of it like, well, how many 20s do they both have?
Oh, 1.
So 1 whole. Give that a shot. Nice job. Now, do you know the mathematical reason it becomes 1 and 1 over 28?
Yes.
What is it?
It's because there's 2 20s and that equals, well, they're both the same, and if they're already 20 and 20, then that means they can equal a whole part.
Exactly. Now here's the division. Did you know every fraction is division in hiding? No one ever told you that? Well, there you go. I just gave you a big secret. Every fraction is a division problem hiding. You can use it to make decimals, percentages, a lot of stuff. Fractions do a lot of things. It's not just representing pieces, it's also division, but it doesn't want to tell you yet. So here's the cool thing. I can think of it like division. I'm saying 29 divided into something that needs 28. And if I do that in long division, 29 divided by something that only needs 28 pieces. How many times can 28 go into 29?
One time.
One time. So when I do that, what's left over?
28.
29
wait,
minus
wait.
28?
Wait, 1.
1. Go and put the little 1 there. Okay. How many whole times could 28 go into 29?
1.
1 time. Hey, 1 whole. How many pieces were left over after we filled that in?
1.
Hey, 1 left over. And how many pieces do we need for the next one?
28.
Hey, look at that. 28. So this is the mathematical reason we get 1 and 1 over 28. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Rock on.
Nicely done. For some great work so far this afternoon, Cason, you've got yourself a meal courtesy of our friends at Chick-fil-A. So congratulations on
Are you a
that.
fan of Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, there you go.
love
Smile there.
Chick-fil-A.
If you happen to remember, go in and ask for Troy. Okay, Troy's the one that owns that Chick-fil-A. Tell him you were on the math show. He'll love talking to you about the math show and all that kind of stuff because he loves to do the math. So, and hopefully we hope you enjoy your meal at Chick-fil-A also. Hey, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30, but right now we're going to head back out to the Carpenters Union, see what's going on with Scott and exactly what they're measuring.
Hey, we're back with a little math in the real world. Things got a little quiet because some folks are on break, but there's still math to be done. We want to know how we can use some more tools in the carpentry industry to figure out, to make sure things are right the way they should be, right, Josh?
Yes,
What do you got? What are you
absolutely,
going to show us
Scott.
today?
Well, as you heard from the last segment, as we were looking at plumbing and lining a wall, we had different instruments so we could back check ourselves. We want to make sure that in construction you measure twice and cut once.
There you go.
So the most common tool that all of us carpenters use in the field is a tape measure.
Right,
Okay.
okay.
Beautiful thing about measuring tape is that it will tell you the distance from how far away something is, how close it is. It gives you fractions of a foot or fractions of an inch. The way they graduate these tapes makes it real easy to read. Nice big bold numbers. If you look within the space of 1 inch here, you've got some lines. The biggest line, that's the halfway point.
Right,
You know,
that
that's a
makes
half
sense.
inch. Just
Yeah.
visually, you can just see it.
Okay.
And then you'll see the next largest line, that's half of half. Well, half of half is a quarter.
Right.
Going back to fractions and so on and so forth, down to a 1/16 of an inch.
Okay.
To make sure that it's precise. So as I was learning in school, fractions and decimals, I never thought I would use it in the real world, but it turns out that we use fractions and decimals in the construction industry every single day.
All the time, right?
Absolutely.
Whether you're a mechanic or a carpenter, I've had students in the past say, I want to be a carpenter, but I don't like fractions. I said, well, you might want to change your mind a little bit about that because you're going to use them a lot, right?
That's right. That's
okay.
right.
So what can you do with that thing, right? You can measure the distance, obviously, but there's other things
so
you can
we've
do.
got, we've got a little hook on here that makes it easy. So on this hook, we actually have a hook slot right here that is designed to grab the head of a nail or a screw or something like that.
Okay.
So why don't you give me a number here, somewhere between 0 and 2 feet.
How about 14 inches?
14 inches,
Okay.
okay? So let's treat this 14 inches like the radius on a circle.
Okay.
So we take and we make our mark at 14 inches. Now I'm just gonna hold my pencil on this line.
Right.
And as I pull this, and it's hooked to that nail, as I go around, as long as I hold my pencil right on that mark, and I'm just pinching the tape and the pencil together,
And it's going right around that slot.
and it's just chasing, the hook slot is just allowing it to stay in that central point, and then as we come around, we should connect up.
And
Right.
that's a heck of a lot better circle than I can draw freehand on my whiteboard, right?
Oh yeah, I'd end up drawing an egg if I tried to do this. So
Sure.
the thing about math is we just took a straight instrument and made a circle out of it. Well, when we're doing the math on circles, we know that this is the radius. Well, if that's 14 inches, the diameter is twice the radius, so I should have 28 inches, and there I
Right.
am, right at 28 inches.
Sure.
And then if I wanted to know how long this line was, well, if I multiply pi times the diameter, that will give me that measurement all the way around.
Right.
So
And
again,
not having to bend your straight tool all the way around the outside, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So again, fractions and decimals can do a whole lot for us when
Right.
we're trying to lay out a structure or a building.
Very versatile. Now you made a curved structure here, but most of the things we see are right angles.
Yeah, it's
So
like
how
this-
do you use that to make a right angle?
Yeah, so we're in a classroom here that's got 4 walls, and those are all right angles, and the classrooms that these students that are watching are in classrooms.
And we have a
the same.
square that can make a right angle.
Yeah,
But
we
sometimes
do.
it's not long enough for whatever you're drawing.
Yeah, this would get me out 16 inches on one side, 2 foot on the other, but what if I needed a slightly larger? We like to use the Pythagorean theorem.
All right,
But we
here we
really
go, a little more
simplify it
math.
here for our carpenters, and we call it the 3-4-5 method.
Okay.
So a squared, b squared, c squared equals c squared, right?
Right.
And that's how you get that. So if I want to make a perfect right triangle here, I'm going to go out and I'm going to make a mark at 3 foot.
Okay.
That's my 3 out of my 3-4-5.
Right.
Now, I'm going to put a nail right there at my mark. So I know that that's a straight line from nail to nail.
Right.
So 3-4-5, now I'm going to take and hook this nail, and I'm going to go out to 4 foot. Now I don't know exactly where square is on
Now,
this.
do we want to do 4 from the right angle or from here?
So actually this will be, so we can do 4 from this corner.
Go 4 from here because that would be great to have the right angle right here next to here. We can come.
Yeah,
kinda compare it.
absolutely.
Okay.
So we'll come out to 4 foot here. Now I don't know exactly where that's going to be, so like we did with our circle, I'm going to take and I'm going to scribe an arc. right
Oh,
here.
I see.
Nice
Okay.
and big. So I
Right.
got a big field I can work with.
Sure.
Now my other nail, that was my 4
Yeah.
out of the 3-4-5. I go here and I hook this one. So what's my next number, Scott?
5.
So 5.
Yeah,
So I'm going to hold
5
it right
feet.
there and I'm going to scribe another arc.
And for all you geometry students out here, this is why we do constructions, right? We want to make sure we know exactly where those 2 arcs hit, and that gives you an exact measurement.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
where that intersection is there, and we'll test this out. So Ross, if I could borrow you over here, we're going to snap out a line.
Look at that. All right.
So let's try this out.
And we've done all the measurements that we need to do. So we're snapping to make sure it's going to look like a triangle.
So here's the test.
Yeah,
Let's use that trusty square.
sure. Look at that, almost like we knew we were doing or something. I like it.
So
That's
the
a great
cool
way to
thing
do
about
it.
the 3-4-5 method is it works with multiple. So
Sure.
if you were going to
So you
go,
can go 6, 8, 10.
you can go 9,
You can go
12,
9, 12,
15.
yeah.
Yep, and you can just keep going. So however large your building is or however
Right.
large the thing you're trying to lay out is, you can use the 3-4-5 or Pythagorean theorem
Oh, man.
to go ahead and lay this out. And this is how we start buildings.
So useful. I love how the math comes in here. We talked about pi, we talked about the Pythagorean theorem. I know there's some more math to do in the studio, but we will return at least one more time to make sure we cover some more areas here at the Carpenters Union. Thanks for your time.
All right, there's always more math to do in the studio. As a matter of fact, the entire time you guys were measuring and making a right angle, a right square, and doing the Pythagorean theorem, Mickey and Cason were still working on multiplying fractions, adding fractions, and coming up with some mixed numbers. So, how are you boys feeling about this?
Good.
We're getting
Pretty
there.
good?
We're doing well.
Back to the board then. Let's see
All
how
right,
well
back
you're
we
doing.
go. All right.
Here we go. Let's go 1 3/4
Ooh, mixed number. You know how to write 1 3/4?
Yeah.
All right. Well done.
times 2 and 3/6.
What happened there? Let's try that one again.
Yeah.
2 and 3/6.
When he says and, that makes it a whole number. Yep. Okay.
What are you thinking?
So I'm thinking that we need to do this first. First, we're gonna do this. So 1 times 2, because we're gonna start right there. Right now.
Nope. So here's the thing. When we're multiplying fractions with mixed numbers, we actually have to change them into improper fractions.
Oh.
There's a way to do that. You want to see it? Okay. So 1 3/4. How many whole pieces do I have there?
1. Or,
1 whole,
no,
right?
Yeah.
So I have 1 whole chocolate bar. Do you like chocolate bars? Okay, cool. We'll stay with chocolate bars. I have 1 whole chocolate bar. Do I have another whole chocolate bar, or is this only part of it?
Part of it.
It's only part of it. How many pieces are on this chocolate bar in total?
4.
Okay. But how many of them do I get?
3.
3. Now, if this one was split into 4, should this one also be split into 4?
No, because that's a whole one.
But is the denominator a 4 on this?
Yes.
So technically it is also split into 4 pieces. But if it's a whole number, do I get all 4 of them?
No.
if I give a whole chocolate
wait,
bar,
yeah, yes,
yeah,
yes.
one whole chocolate bar. So I get to fill it all in, Whee, and you'll see why in a moment. Technically, this is one chocolate bar and part of another, correct? So how many pieces do I get in total so far?
7.
7 pieces. And how big are the pieces? Each one is worth,
4.
there we go. So 7/4 means the exact same quantity as 1 whole and 3/4 of another. 1 whole, which was 4/4, plus 3/4. Is 4 plus 3 7?
Yes.
And do my 4s stay a 4?
Yes.
There we go.
And do me a favor, Mick, before you keep going, because if he gets larger numbers, he's not going to want to be drawing larger.
Right.
So show him how to multiply and add that to get there.
I wanted to show you the reason why this works. So here's the quick way, okay? I'm going to take my denominator and multiply by the whole number. Again, the reason is, how many did I have here? 4 times 1, because there were 4 pieces. And then we would add the leftover. So in this case, 6 times 2,
12.
plus 3 left over,
15.
15, over what? How big were those
6.
pieces? In sixths. We're still multiplying, so we keep that. And now, do I have fractions to multiply straight across?
Yes.
There, now we can do it. Go for it.
Okay, so 4 times 6 would be 24. Oh wait, that would go on the top. Oh wait, no, that would go on
Yep,
the
keep it on the
bottom.
same part, you're good.
Yeah. And 7 times 15, you would do 7 times 5 would be 35 plus 10, and then it'd be 70 plus 35, which would be
Nice mental math, way to break it down. Now, 105 over 24, that's improper, isn't it? But do we have a strategy now to turn it into a mixed number?
yes.
Because every fraction we learned is really what?
Is it really?
What type of problem? Is it a multiplication problem?
It's a multiplication.
Or a division problem?
Division.
Division. Let's set this up and let's do some division. No, you were right, 105 inside.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, talk me through it. What do you want to do?
Okay, so first we're gonna see how many times 24 can go into 105. So if we do,
Why not start with 24 can't go into 1?
no.
Okay, I'm going to put a 0 here just so we keep our places together.
Okay,
And if it can't go into 1, you're telling me it can't go into 10 either?
no.
Okay, cool. Let's put a 0 up there. So you really want to stick with 105?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so 24, the closest you could do is, you could do 4, and you could do 2 times 4, or 20 times 4 would be 80, and you can do 4 times 4, which would be 16, and that would equal 96.
And that's as close as we can get because we don't want to go over?
Yes.
Okay, if you're going to multiply by 4, where do we put the 4 before we go?
Right here.
Okay. And then you said it equals 96? So what will we subtract down below? 6. Perfect.
Wait.
What is that? Is that a fish? What is, I'm not quite sure what
I
that
was
is.
going to say, I understand what he's
Nine.
doing and writing, but
105,
Okay, took me a second. I was like, oh, hold on here.
105 minus 96 is 9.
Left with 9?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do we have any other numbers to bring down or to continue working on?
We need to bring, there's a 1, but it doesn't go right there.
But we already subtracted. You said there's
Yeah.
only 9 left, right?
Yeah.
So when I ask you that, I'm asking, are there any other numbers that would have to come down in our long
No.
division? No. So the nice thing is, we're done. But now we have to put it all together, right? So we have pieces here, but we have to put them in the correct combination to make the mixed number. So what's our whole number from the division problem?
Our whole number would be,
How many whole times could it go in?
it could go in,
How many whole times could 24 go into 105? Because remember, you multiplied and you figured out
4,
how many.
4.
Yeah, so 4 whole times. Now it's a whole number, so what's left over? What was left over after we did our division? Remember, our whole number is going to stay all alone because he's a big boy.
okay, yeah,
What was left over?
there was 9.
And how many would we need for another total?
24.
24. Now, before we're not officially done, we always have to simplify. Now, we can't simplify whole numbers. They're already a whole number. We can't really touch them. But we can simplify a fraction. So if I make some space over here, and I give you 4 and 9 over 24, I need you to simplify 9 24ths.
Okay. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, so 3 times 3 would equal 9. So you could divide it by 3.
Okay.
And then that would equal 3. And then down for this one, you have to do the same.
Okay.
So now you would do that, 3, and then that would be 8.
Is our final answer 3/8?
No, we can simplify it more.
Okay. How do you want to simplify it?
I'm going to simplify it to 1/4.
How'd you make 3 become the 1? 3 divided by?
2. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to do this.
If you change the 8 to a 4, the 3 has to change also. So can you think of anything that 3 and 8 can both be divided by? It's not always necessary. It's up to you.
You can't.
You can't, so that's it. So is 3/8 our final answer?
Yes.
What about their friend, the whole 4?
Oh, we have to add the 4.
Yeah, so a lot of students, that's a common mistake that we see, and it's just something you have to be careful with, is you worked on simplifying this fraction, but we still need the whole number 4. So go ahead and rewrite your final answer in this box. All the pieces put together now. Yeah, there we go.
Right on. 4 and 3/8. Nicely done. I'm glad it wasn't 4 and something over a fish. So that's pretty good.
Nice job.
All right, erase the board. So Cason, it seems like you're getting it, but I think if you do another one, it might be a little more helpful. You think so?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to have you select either number 14, number 15, 16, or 18. 14, 15, 16, or 18.
Okay.
Which one would you like? Quickly, I don't want you looking at them too long.
17.
I didn't say 17.
Oh, wait,
Wasn't an
no.
option.
14.
That's why they listed up there.
13.
14, 15,
14.
16, or 18.
14.
You're sure?
Yes.
14. Why 14?
Because I like it.
Fine,
There
let's
it
go
is,
ahead
there
and
it
do
is.
it. All right.
14 it is.
Wise guy, let's go 15 or whatever. All right, let's go ahead. Take a look at number 14. 2 1/2. So let's go ahead and write it up there. 2 1/2. Times 1/10.
Rewrite that too. It had some friends in there. Okay. What do you want to do?
So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply. So 1 times 1 would be,
Ooh, hold
1.
on. What is this?
Wait. Oh,
Am I allowed to work with whole numbers
Yes.
when multiplying?
Oh, wait, no, we have to make it improper.
Yes. Remember that strategy?
Yes.
What was it?
So first we could do, so 2, so that would be 4.
Okay.
We could add 4 to this. And then, but we would also erase this.
Remember, here's our strategy. I'm going to multiply my denominator and my whole number, and then I'm going to take that and add it with my numerator. So let's use that strategy. So we had 2 1/2, correct?
Okay.
Let's double check that. So 2 1/2. Now follow the arrows, right? So I'm going to start with my denominator and multiply it with my whole number. So you're going to multiply what?
2 times 2.
And what I want you to do is I want you to draw that arrow so we can kind of follow our math here, and then draw the multiplication symbol, because that's what we did. We're going to multiply these two. And you said it equals what?
4.
So what I like to do is I like to put that number right here. Okay, I have 4 so far. And then our last step will be to draw our arrow and do what?
And also add it to there.
So let's draw an arrow to remind ourselves we need to continue around all the way. And we need to do what at the top?
We need to add this.
Okay, so now we have 4 plus the 1, and that's going to change everything now to what?
5.
So let's rewrite it over here. So now we have 5 over what?
5 over 2.
Let's rewrite it right there. We're going to save some space. Beautiful. So what you did is you took 2 1/2, we turned it into an improper fraction. Sound good? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what was the rest of that problem?
The rest of the problem was 1/10.
Times 1/10. So let's write that and rewrite it. Times 1/10. Now, do we have any whole numbers left?
No.
Are we good to multiply now?
Yes.
Let's do it.
So 5 times 1 equals 5, and 2 times 10 equals 20. So we end up with 520.
Can we simplify?
No.
Not at all?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay, all right, go for it.
You can simplify it by 5 divided by 5 would equal 1. And if you simplified it by 20 by 5, then it would equal 4. So you could do 1/4.
Now here's the nice thing. If you ever get a 1 on either part of the fraction, you can't simplify any farther. So if we have 1 over 4, am I done simplifying? Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. What's our final answer?
It will be 1/4.
That's it. Nice job.
Good. Erase the board. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to do one problem.
Oh,
But you're not going to multiply anything. I'm going to give you a mixed number, and I want you to turn it into an improper fraction. That's all.
Okay.
There are 3 of us in studio, so I want the whole number to be 3.
Okay.
So write a big 3. And
That's
you're
a
in
big 3.
5th grade, and how old are you?
10.
So put 5 over 10 as the fraction. Turn that into an improper fraction, you have 1 minute.
All right, what are
Okay.
we going to do?
First, what we need to do is, remember, we have to do this. So that means,
All right.
so 3 times, oh wait, no, so 3 times 10 would be 30.
Okay.
Leave that 30 right there. And then add it to there. And then 35.
35?
35, yeah.
35 over what, though?
10.
Write it out. Time's running. Not right now. We're going for time here. We're looking to win. We're not looking for it to be pretty. We're looking for the win here.
So is that 3 snake over 10? I know you're
You got a tough crowd in here, man. We got to work on them a little bit. They're brutal.
I know he's got the cast on. We understand that.
There we go,
Just like the kid.
35%.
And he's a good sport about it, so
Nice
that's
job.
good.
Nice
So
job.
nicely done. So you're going to do these later on in 5th grade this year.
Yeah.
And hopefully when you get to them, you're going to go, oh, I remember what Mickey was helping me with, and I can do these pretty quickly now.
Yeah.
Guess after 5th grade when you're going to do them again.
6th grade.
In 6th grade. And guess when you're going to do them again.
Junior high?
There you go. You're going to do them in 7th grade. You're going to do them in 8th grade. You're going to do them for the rest of your life. So the sooner you get used to it and work that out and understand it, the better off you're going to be. That's why we wanted you to do a couple of them today, all right? All right,
Nice
very nicely done. Hey, you know what? We do have one last opportunity to go out to the Carpenters Union, visit with Scott, and see exactly how these guys are going to wrap up today.
Hey, guess what? Math continues to happen in the real world, whether we know it or not. And I want to know some more about what the heck is going on here at the Carpenters Union. Ross, tell me what you got now. I know you got some really cool
Yes.
tools around here.
Yes, Scott. Well, we have 2 instruments that you see here on my right. We have a builder's level, and we also had a rotary laser, which in the field, this is one of the money makers for the companies. Once the apprentices learn how to use them really good, it's a profitable margin for the employer.
Okay.
So if you want, we can start off with this one right here, which is the builder's level.
Sure.
This instrument here is going to take 2 individuals to work it. You have one behind the eyepiece and the other one on the instrument down at the bottom to level the mark.
Right.
What we have
So
over
we're
here-
talking about making things level from a distance, right?
Yes.
Not real close like we had before with the walls.
Yes, this instrument
Okay.
can shoot up to 300 feet in a linear
Wow.
direction, so it's...
So are we measuring the levelness like of the ground?
Yes, you can measure
Okay.
from the ground or on the wall to make, let's say, a control mark along the perimeter of the wall.
Okay.
So say you
All
want
right.
to hang a bunch of pictures along the wall.
Yeah,
so,
there you go. All
so-
right, good deal. I got you.
Okay, and also here on the digital readout here on the laser, this one here is a single man operation, which also you can set up, and employers like to have this one as a profit margin also because it
Right.
takes one person.
So this is a classic instrument that you would use, and the other one is, and there's advantages to both, right? This
Yes.
takes 2 people, and the other one takes 1.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so we can't really really get a shot of what it looks like with the camera because it's really hard to see. You can see it with your eye, and you look in this side, just kind of like a binoculars or a telescope, right?
Yes.
But how does that one work? Because that's a whole bunch of flashing lights and things are spinning, and I'm really curious about how that goes down.
Yes, this one here, we can set it at any given elevation because we're going to have a readout of a digital.
Okay.
So, say per se that we're here on a lower elevation, and I have my partner right now, Josh, out there on the very top. So once we start this the digital readout going, he's going to position it on the floor, which we're going to achieve a benchmark.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
So we're going to see exactly where it's going to start, right?
Yes.
So he's off in the distance, and there's your partner. He's going to set that up, all right?
Okay.
And what happens? How do we know if things are level here? We're not going to be able to look at it. We're going to be able to hear it. Is that right?
Yes, there is going to be a receiver at the other end that is going to have an audio beep that tells you exactly when it's going to be right on location, especially on the elevation mark.
Okay.
So as you can hear it right now, Josh is on the other side receiving right now the digital readout.
Right.
And it's locked in right at 0, which is the elevation that we give the apprentice here, 100.00.
Right.
Now,
so that constant tone means you're right where you need to be.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
we're locked in at 0.
Good.
Okay. So now we have a prop back there, and he's going to go ahead and set it on the top of that box.
Right.
And we're going to see the difference of elevation point when we lock it in on the second beat.
Gotcha. Between what we did initially and between where it is now, which is higher, right?
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. We're
Okay.
stepping up.
All right. And if he can get that all lined up, he's got that.
Yes.
He's got that box, and he wants to make sure that we can know the distance and make sure that's level as well, right?
Yes. So as you see now, he popped it up on top of the box. Now he's going to find the locator, Donald, adjusting to the laser.
Right.
So once he hears that audio's locking in at a solid beat, right now it's high.
Yeah.
And
So we're getting close, though.
he's,
Oh, look at that.
He's right on there.
He's right on. So the one-person part of this happens, we don't even have to be here once it's set up, right? The one-person part happens over there.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about a laser, that because once you set it up, you can walk away from it.
Yeah,
And
right.
between the laser and the builder's level, I think that the precision, we'll go with the builder's level.
Yeah.
Fast and economy, we're going to be going with the rotary.
Right, right, no doubt. Wow, the tools here are just amazing what you can do and how you can do it. And the fact that you don't have to even be close to where you're looking from, right? We were talking earlier, before we started talking about this stuff, the fact that you're not always right next to what you're measuring. Like we looked at the wall and we looked at drawing some pictures on the ground. You're not always right next to it. You might have to measure something far away, over some water or over a barrier or over an obstacle. And these tools would allow you to do that, right?
It'll cover distance,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, gosh.
As carpenters, we only work on the ground for the first part of the project, and then
Yeah.
everything else is generally vertical. So whether we're building a lot of bridges and roads that you see going throughout town, being able to determine those vertical elevation differences and distances is not so easily achievable by going there in person. Sometimes you need an instrument like this to get those marks.
Right, no, that totally makes sense. And whatever instruments we can use, we certainly like our eyes and our ears to use to observe the world around us, but we know they are not exact, right? And they can be deceived sometimes, so we have to have some information to back us up. And heck, even some math in there, some numbers and whatever. Guys, I really appreciate your
Thank you,
time
Scott.
today.
Thank you, sir.
Really, really grateful for the things that I've learned and all of us have learned. And look, just for the Carpenters Union, it's so appropriate, right? We have the Do the Math tile. Heck, we can maybe even get some of these guys to install it here for you, but that's our parting gift. We really do appreciate you taking the time to explain some things. Man, I learned a lot today and saw some numbers too, so I appreciate that part. We know there's a little bit more math to do back in the studio, so we're
35
heading there
seconds,
now.
we'll take it. Nice job.
All right, thanks for that, Scott. Also, once again, big thanks to the Carpenters Union, especially Josh over there, to help us out each and every year that we're going there, and a little insight into some of the careers you can have in carpentry. So, speaking of carpentry, sometimes they use saws, right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's put this right up here. I know you're officially getting this off tomorrow, but you want me to do it now? I can get a saw. You ready?
No.
No? All right. Well, I
Actually,
just
yeah,
figured I'd give you.
let's get it off now.
Well, we don't have enough time now. So, did you learn a little something today?
Yeah.
Good. Did you have fun today?
Yes.
All right. Well, that's the key right there. So hopefully all goes well with your arm. Remember, we do have phone tutors available until 5:30 most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. Until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.